can't market you. You too real in the field where they dying all the time and they trying to get killed. Where they die their head blind, crying on the inside, trying to shine, throw up signs to disguise how they feel. Hold up. This ain't conscious, it ain't religion. This ain't spiritual, it's me existing. I grew up in the 50s when the 50s was great. Karita Johnson, Joe Looney's and Baby J. Yeah, and then we moved down south. Why? Cause Vic shut up the house. On God. Hey yo, the moral of the story is this what I'm about, what I'm about, yet still gotta call you a for you to feel me. Gotta empty the clip for you to feel me. Gotta go through a bid for you to feel me. Tired of all them gimmicks, man, it's the real thing. Yeah, it's the real thing. Yeah, this the real thing.
I tell him, man.
I told him it's the real thing.
You know the village. They say they want that real. What's their definition? Their life is a simulation. Their real is abomination. They rather me be a shooter with no hesitation. I penetrate with knowledge, then I demonstrate. Weak bars disintegrates your negativity. Got a gravitational pull. They want me in their orbit. I stay out the galaxy far. It's like I gotta ride away for them to feel me now. I remember them days when it was dope to wear your crown, when it was cool to raise a family with structure. Now they want me to be in it, creeping, lurking, DMing, being loose with my semen, making love with the demon. I can front, I can't be it, will never be no agreements. They want my blood, I'm anemic, pushing life through the speakers, resuscitating the game, resurrecting my people. I put 1,000 on it. Every verse I'm spitting is ether. They say they want that real, but are they really listening?
Gotta call you a for you to feel me. Gotta empty the clip for you to feel me. Gotta go through a bid for you to feel me. Tired of all them gimmicks, man, it's the real thing. Hey yo, we got tired of all the mess going on. We gon' be this the real thing. We gon' be right till it's the real thing. Hey, I'm tired of rapping, to be honest with you. It's too much capping for those that's not official. One of the hardest in the world, can't get booked for nothing. Guess I focus on my pearl, write a book or something. Yeah, hey man, I tell you though, a lot has changed, right? You think they supporting, they just riding the wave, right? You think you important cause you got a wave, right? All of this is distorted, look, I'm out the way. I'm on something that I've been on. I want my me, my wife and kids if y'all ain't get the memo. I'm riding through the city in my rental, I need info. Don't know if you're folk or kinfolk, ever since they killed my big bro. For real, they don't wanna see me focus. Yeah, see they rather see me loking. Yeah, I ain't bragging, I ain't boasting. Your leaders out here eating off religion and black emotion. What's down? Hey yo, were y'all tired of all that mess going on?
What's happening? Y'all already know who it is.
Who?
Make sure we get. Oh, there it is. Y'all already know who it is, man. It's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo-On-That, aka Mr. Smack Your Mama, aka Mr. Call Me Crazy. Listen, today's show is gonna be a banger. I'm excited. I got the big little sis in the building, and I got my co-host in the building. But before I get into all that, let me say this. This quarantine, this lockdown,
Got y'all acting crazy.
got y'all acting a fool. You heard me.
Out of pocket like you ain't never wore pants before. It's
I'm
crazy.
talking about domestic violence. I'm talking about child abuse. I'm talking about
Locked up, won't let me out. Oh.
oh man, listen. If you are in the home and you are unhappy, today's show is for you. It is.
Yeah.
You know, when I used to have the radio show back in 2013, 2017, you know, I used to always say, if you're unhappy, go get a gun, load it, cock it back, and shoot yourself. I'm not going to say that right now because people are crazy enough to do it.
Yeah. You was right when you said what you said.
Listen, I'm just saying. Today's show, we are going to part 2 of the True Noble Truths. True Noble Truths. And
Oh, why?
Yeah, the True Noble Truths Part 2, man. And today's show was about self-quarantine, self-reflection,
Right.
reflection of oneself. However you want to say it to sound...
Mirror or no mirror?
Right.
Yeah. Mirror or no mirror?
Yeah, we on that. Listen,
Hey.
so for those who want to chime in, I'm just setting up the show right now. For those who want to chime in, the number to dial is 516-531-9828. Again, it's 516-531-9828. If y'all, for all those who want to chime in. And yeah, I have a very, very special guest. Before I introduce her, and before I get into the topic and the questions and all this craziness that's going on in today's world, I want my co-host to introduce himself, plug all this stuff. I mean, do what he do best. Holla at the people.
Hey, look, it's your boy Christopher J. You on Chew Radio. Give me something you could chew on, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully you could digest it. But nah, if you in the middle of this quarantine, I know y'all going crazy and stuff, but that don't mean you got to look crazy. So if you're looking for a haircut, you know what I'm saying? If you need for a place to get down.
Hey, what you trying to say?
Hey, look, that's your personal problem, bro. Self-reflection, looking at me.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
look,
did, and I was mad at myself. But go ahead.
You can book an appointment on my Instagram at unofficial MD. You can book an appointment. Hey, hit my DMs if you're trying to get chopped up. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, Ronnie? Hey, book an appointment if you need to get chopped up. Just because the world is crazy don't mean you got to look crazy, man. My place is a great place to get laced if that's what you need.
Okay.
All right? So
Hot
holla at me.
dog. Hot dog. I like that. Also, you guys can watch us on Podbean. That's True Radio, CHOO radio.podbean.com. We also on YouTube at True Radio, Instagram.
Correct.
We everywhere.
Yeah.
Listen,
Log in where you can and watch it.
I had the amazing opportunity to have an OG in LA mentor me for a little bit in this radio stuff. He was the reason why I got into doing radio in the first place. He told me, young man, talk your talk.
Come on, Zoe.
Yeah. So listen,
Shout out to Zoe.
I was watching the show and I seen this young lady on there and I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, usually Zoe have females co-host on this show that have a level of what I like to call stupidity. And
That's your choice, brother.
but this young lady had a level of maturity, self-awareness that I appreciated. And not only that, she knew how to take what she was learning from all her life experiences and build herself up from very hard situations. So it's a lot of love and respect for this young lady. Ladies and gentlemen, special guest. She has her own. I'm not gonna take it from her. I just want her to introduce herself to the people.
Let her give her. Let her share her. Let us tell her story.
Talk your talk.
Yeah, talk your talk.
Oh, well, hi. I'm Tiffany Ram, also known as Tip Talk TV. So I'm everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter at TIFFTALK I have a podcast that just ended its first season at Accelerated Radio called Taboo Talk, where we basically have conversations about all of society's most taboo topics.
Okay, yay. One last time, tell everyone your Instagram so they can follow you right now.
Right? Because there's a lot of fun stuff on there right now. So it's Tip Talk TV, TIFFTALK TV.
Tiff Talk TV for all my people that's on Instagram Live that's watching. Be sure to join in.
Yes.
Tiff Talk TV. She got a lot of stuff. And if your flexibility is not on point, if your workout skills is trash, you know what I'm saying, she can help recycle you back to health.
Man, listen. Yes, she can do that.
Yeah, I believe it. I saw it. I was doing some stretches this morning, you know what I'm saying? The little yoga, the praying dog, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I
man.
was getting down to get down. Yeah, I peep. I learning.
Listen, so the number to dial in is 516-531-9828. 516-531-9828.
Yeah, you call in, talk your talk, ask your questions.
Listen, we got Tiff Talk in the building. We got Christopher J, and you got your boy Randy Choo-On-That. And today's topic,
Ooh, hit him. Ooh, hit him.
self-reflection.
Can y'all do it?
A deeper look at self-evaluation and self-quarantine.
But can y'all do it, though? That's the question.
I don't know if they can. I know I've been hearing a lot through social media and through just watching other people's social medias about how miserable they are that they're home. But you always got to remember this, that every relationship that you're in with a significant other is the universe letting you know what you're attracting.
I was just having this talk earlier, man.
This is the reason why you need to self-quarantine. You need to evaluate yourself. Listen. Here, I got some questions real quick. Tiff Talk, I want you to answer first. Christopher J, then we're going to keep it moving. Is self... Whoa. Wait, hold up. Let's define what reflection is first. Tiff Talk, when someone comes to you and says, have you self-reflected? Have you self-evaluated, self-quarantined? What comes to your mind? Talk to the people.
Well, when someone asks me about self-reflection, it really just means, have you taken time to really go internally? Are you taking a moment to say, like, where can you do better, be more efficient? You can be a confident person, but you're still not perfect. So self-reflection is a self-evaluation. Like, where could I still be stronger? Or even the things that are going well, why did they go well? So that's what I think when people ask about self-evaluation and self-reflection.
I mean, that's because obviously you're a deep individual. But when you hear the term reflection, most people, not for real, most people think of a mirror, right? And let's go ahead and take a look at today's society. We got more makeup artists. No shade, because I love the beauty industry.
Oh, man.
Throw that out there. I mean, no shade. But we got more makeup artists, as in we have more people who are practicing the art of covering up.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. I'm about to baby steps. This is Gerber right here. You okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you sweet potatoes and peas real quick. Listen, we got more people that's in the art of covering up rather than looking deep down inside yourself. And the thing is, it goes against our human nature. And human nature is to be selfish. So to allow yourself to grow means you got to give up a piece of yourself. Like, you got to give up some baggage, which most people like to hold on to.
Oh man, yeah.
So I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah.
But like, it requires you to grow, but that requires you to isolate, cut off some friendships, because at the end of the day, sometimes elevation requires a little isolation. So you got to cut off some ties in order for you to grow. But if you're not willing to do that, are you really reflecting?
Listen. We ain't even 15 minutes into the show, and they already dropping heaters. The number to dial is 516-531-9828. Please call us and let us talk to you about your self-reflection. We're going to let you know if you've been BSing yourself.
That's up to you. I got some people that's saying it's all about sacrifice.
Listen. Krishnamurti, Jiddu Krishnamurti.
Okay, all right.
Says this.
You going historical. They don't know no better.
He says, ignorance is the unawareness of the process of your conditioning. In other words, what he's saying is real ignorance, lack of understanding, lack of knowledge, is based upon the fact that you don't understand the process of how you've been conditioned to believe and think what you believe and think. In other words, you have a lot of religious folks that walk around and they will echo what one of their teachers have said without actually studying out to see if what their teacher said was true.
Correct. There's no verification.
They don't understand that the word indoctrination means that I'm giving you a doctrine and I'm injecting it into your head, and you have to live by that without you questioning.
No cross-reference.
See, intelligence is based upon the strength of questioning. I question everything. I teach my children. I'm married. I got 5 kids. I teach my children, question everything. Even when daddy says something, question it. You know, most people teach their kids.
They won't support that, though.
Yeah, they no. They
yeah,
won't.
a lot of
They
parents
won't.
won't support that.
They won't because
That's a control issue.
and Tiff, peep this. I tell my oldest son. My oldest son is 10 years old. Me and my wife have a 1-year-old. That's our youngest. So from 10 to 1, we got 5 kids. So peep this.
You got a whole spread.
I got a squad.
He doing what he he doing what he supposed to do.
Listen.
Making a village.
And it's crazy because when I talk to my oldest son, I tell him this. He always asks the question why. Why, Daddy? I'd be like, hey, son, I need you to do A, B, and C. He would say why. Most parents would be like, what you mean why? And self-reflection, sometimes I have my moments.
Yeah.
Little nigga, who you asking why?
Yeah.
Because I said so.
Because I said so. You shut it down.
But that's because I've been conditioned.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Questioning is good, but I also teach people to be prepared to only ask questions you're ready for the answer for. Because a lot of people are indoctrinated, not ready for the truth. So sometimes asking questions when you're ignorant for a truth you're not ready to receive doesn't really lead to the place that you were expecting.
Okay, so at what age?
And like me, even in relationships, I felt like I'm very honest. I'm super honest. I'm not going to lie to you. So be careful when you ask me a question that you're ready for the truth that may come afterwards.
Oh my goodness.
So at what age do you teach that though? Because from a child perspective, inquiring minds just want to know.
Mm-hmm. Well, cognitively speaking, around like 8 to 10, they should be prepared for that concept. You just have to then model it over time.
So before you get to the 8-year-old mark, are you exercising a sensitivity for somebody else in that process?
What do you mean?
So, for example, you said 8 to 10, right? So before they're 8 years old, they don't have that built defense to be prepared for whether it be rejection or the brute honesty of somebody else. So in that case, are you exercising a certain level of sensitivity in your understanding? Because to operate in love is to operate in understanding, right? So if you say that you love your child, you're understanding them and where they're coming from.
But actually, in that regards, in regards to rejection, like kids are often the most honest. Teaching them to question is definitely good, right. But at some point you want to teach them that concept of asking questions with purpose, not just asking to ask.
Touche. We finna Gemini. Pisces and Gemini. Pisces and Gemini. We finna do it.
Tiff, I have one of my fans that just asked me, "Are you a Taurus?"
What?
No, I'm a Gemini.
Oh, there's your answer right there. Ding, 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 ding. A Gemini nigga with mood swings.
I mean, the way I say it, everybody got mood swings. Is that your zodiac sign determines how you express it.
That was a Jada Kiss lyric.
Oh, I was gonna say like high functioning Gemini, like creative intellectuals, and we like are the yin and yang, right, of conversations or concepts or ideas. It's the low functioning Geminis that get us the bad rap of being like crazy.
Oh man. Yeah.
I feel like that's every zodiac sign. I feel like the difference between a good and a bad zodiac sign is maturity level, but that's another day's conversation.
So let me ask this question. Man, this is lovely already.
Now we getting spicy.
We getting spicy already.
Yeah, break out the habaneros. Ask the question.
Let me ask this question: is self-reflection always good? Tiff, throw it to you first, and then Christopher J, you holla at him.
Me first. I would say yes, self-reflection's always good, but you might not be ready for it. So you should opt self-reflecting, but the truth hurts for real. You know, woman, if she's been really promiscuous for a period of time and she self-reflects, she's gonna realize like, yeah, I'm a hoe. And then it's like, are you ready to deconstruct what that means and where you go from here?
I've never heard a woman say that. I just want you to say that.
Be ready for it.
Wow. Chris, talk to him.
Wow. Man. I want to reiterate what I said. I've never heard a woman just openly admit that she's a hoe. I've never heard that.
I would say I used to be a hoe. I'm not anymore. I'm retired.
Growth, girl. Growth. Hey, look. Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with growing, you know what I'm saying? Every butterfly came from a caterpillar at some point. You know what I'm talking about?
Man. Listen.
But I will say this. For me to answer the question that you asked, you said, is self reflection good all the time?
Yes.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Reason being, it's I feel like it's gonna be situation based. So, for example, if I'm involved with another individual, you'll never know what you need to self-reflect on until you've heard the other individual.
Ooh.
So, to answer your question verbatim, no, I don't feel like it's good all the time. Sometimes you need to just shut it off so you can hear the other person first, so you can know what to reflect on.
So you're saying to me
Self-reflection has a purpose, and if you don't know what it's for, then why do it?
So Christopher J, you're saying to me that sometimes, and this is what I'm interpreting what you're saying from my perspective.
Okay,
I could be wrong, but are you saying to me that a individual sometimes need to listen to their haters?
Depends on what your purpose is, because because if okay, so in a sense, again, look, it all depends on what your purpose is. They say if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right? But at the end of the day, no matter what the thing is about life, to have an understanding fully of life is to understand that no matter what you do, you're gonna have haters.
Yes, facts.
But if you have haters on the fact that your credit score is below 600, and like if you have haters on the fact that you're not growing, you might want to listen to that.
Okay.
So like if you have haters against complacency, you might want to listen to that, because complacency is the closest thing to death. Life goes on, but if you're not going, you're gonna die.
It's funny you say that, and to hear what Tiff said and what you said, it's interesting contrast, because in one sense, someone who is unenlightened would think that y'all just had a disagreement, but one who is enlightened can understand that you both are saying the same thing. And let me explain how.
Correct.
She is saying that as a woman in her life, it was one point where she could say she was Tatiana.
Yeah, she said what she said.
And then now, ignorant people, fans of the show, who would look at her Instagram and look at her pictures and videos, would try to think that that's still that her at her level. Not understanding that humans evolve. They evolve. And so if a person is not evolving, they're not self-reflecting. They're living in a state of ignorance. Have you ever lived, Tiffany, in a state of ignorance?
Yeah, definitely.
I was about to tell you to be honest, because I was going to call you out on your stuff.
Probably cost me, one specific area of my life that I was living in ignorance was my past marriage.
All
right, now we finna get real.
3.5 recover from what I thought was something that I was choosing to just leave with something else. Like ignorance is, again, not knowing the system, not challenging it, not questioning it, and choosing to, like you said, be indoctrinated.
Yes.
And I was stuck in that place for a very long time, wanting to believe the fantasy that was created, wanting to believe like I had this very loving, supportive Christian household and husband, and that was not what was happening.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was a really hard place to come out of. But once like I took that ignorance away and realized like what was happening and tapped into reality, I had to be very, very accountable for myself and what was going to happen next.
Yeah. Can I just be honest and say that
not accountable word, that was real.
The word accountability.
Break it down. I know it's coming.
Is great, but most people use it as a word of manipulation. Not you, Tiff. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about in general. Most people, when I'm saying most because we can't put everyone in the same category, but most people will say, I'm holding you accountable, but really they just want to control your life.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
I got to test. Listen, how can self-reflection help your communication with others? First, but before we get into that question, Tiff, Christopher J, what did you discover? When was the last time you self-reflected, and what did you discover in your self-reflection? Let me start with me.
Okay, I was about to say, because you asked me to go super transparent.
I have been self-reflecting on my relationship with my family, my wife and my children. And also I've been self-reflecting on my relationship with myself. I have neglected myself for the benefit of everyone around me. And what I found out is when I neglect myself, I am actually hurting my wife and my children because they're not getting the best Randy that they can get. Mr. Choo himself, they can't get the best of me because I've neglected myself. I've neglected to take care of myself spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally. And if I'm not at 100% me, if I'm not even at 90% me,
They're gonna feel it.
they're going to feel it. They're going to experience it. I've been interacting with my wife in such a way now where I've been having the balls to go back and say, you know what, babe, I was wrong. I'm sorry.
You?
I shouldn't have said it that way. I shouldn't have came at you that way. And it's a growing process. It takes humility to do that.
You did that?
Yeah, I did that, son.
A man?
Yeah, a man.
A male?
A man, son.
Stocked,
Alpha male.
Stocked up with pride and
Yes.
ego so much that you
Yes.
apologize to your
I
help.
apologize. Listen.
That is crazy.
And I still have that pride.
So y'all do exist.
Yeah, we exist.
So good men do exist.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, that's crazy. I don't know if they know.
Listen, it's hard.
That's crazy.
It's hard because as a man, I have so much pride and ego, and I'm an alpha male. So my nature is to dominate. My nature is to take control, and sometimes I'm not right. Tiff, talk to the people, please. Save me.
Well, so the question originally was like, is there an area that I've been self-reflective on recently?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, if you scroll through my Instagram, you will see this very long journey of weight loss,
Transformation,
or fitness, or whatever. But I had to be very real about, I haven't actually maintained my ideal goal weight since the divorce. So it's been 3.5 years since I've been my fittest, or 4 years.
Okay.
Self-reflection was just holding myself again accountable and acknowledging like I am my own barrier and what are the behaviors that need to change. Clearly I have no issue working out. So I was like, home fry, you got to get real serious about this nutrition game because it is not your workouts. So enough, the quarantine has allowed me to have the routine and structure to be very conscious about what I'm putting in my body. So I'm already down 6 pounds, but you know.
Kudos.
I had to be reflective about like the only thing keeping me from that is myself. So I need to be very conscious of what I'm choosing to do, which is what am I putting in my body.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been doing horrible. I'm just letting you know that I've been eating I've been cooking burgers and pizza, and that I'm on my 3rd cup of coffee. I'm doing horrible.
I'm doing a gallon of water a day, and I don't know what to tell you.
I hope that ain't Kangen water.
No, it's just regular water.
I mean, since we all being transparent, I had Taco Bell today. But that's because I need to use the bathroom, so it helps me out.
Ooh, I believe you.
I know. It's just because I told the truth.
So when was the last time you self-reflected, and what did you discover?
Oh man. To be totally honest, okay. You want to be totally honest? All right.
Yeah.
So this quarantine situation, I literally sat in my room last night.
Okay.
Shout out to Uncle Marco. My birthday was recent, and he gave me a new laptop.
Okay.
So shout out to Uncle Marco for my new laptop.
Hey, shout out, big bro, man. Always been there for me, yo. Love you to death, boy.
Hey, so this is how much reflecting I had to do. I literally found myself bouncing between a game of solitaire, because you know that comes on a regular laptop.
Right.
Not the Xbox, not no PS4, none of that. I literally was playing a game of solitaire on my laptop, and my blinds were open so I could see the reflection from the computer light bouncing off my face into the window. So I'm literally just like, is this what this quarantine has me doing?
Wow.
This is the most counterproductive. Hey! Now you are laughing, but I am so serious right now. Okay, look, as mentally stimulating as that game of solitaire was, and it reminded me of how much I probably need to grab another book and read some more. I realize I am literally sitting here pressing buttons on a computer when I can be doing something productive to produce a brighter future.
Wow.
And it was nighttime, so
Yeah.
I need to produce a brighter future. And so to answer your question, last night was the last time I was reflecting.
Okay.
But on a deeper sense, we talk about that another day.
Okay.
Yeah, we can talk about it another day because I don't want to take the spotlight from baby girl. She got a lot of substance. It ain't about me today.
Listen, what I want to do real quick is I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break, and when we come back, I got more questions. You are listening to the Choo-On-That show on True Radio. This is your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo-On-That, aka Mr. Slap Your Mama.
Mama?
And Auntie.
All right.
We got Tiff Talk in the building. Listen, we'll be right back after this.
Hey, everybody that's on my Instagram live.
So, all you scared to death Negroes,
sit down. Don't you come out to defend our enemy. You sit down and you shut up and tell your master to come on out and deal with this. Next time they bring up the guns, you gon' respect us. That little vest ain't gon' do you. I choose for necker. I ain't even tryna hold you up, Magnolia Slim. I'm a soldier from that mode, I'm the ghost of him. From the era of police stretcher, no cameras catch it. Drop you off in a rival hood, you'd rather be arrested. If you didn't have no straps, you couldn't wear your necklace. Niggas hand around your throat, that's a choker reference. My ancestors took old food, made soul food. Jim Crow's a troll too, he stole the soul music. That's the blood that goes through me, so you assuming I can never sell my soul, they sold to me. Peaceful teaching to rule me, but don't confuse me. You mouthful for the cameras, I make a silent movie. Now here's some jury. No civilization is conquered from the outside until it destroys itself from within. Pin, put a pin in that, we'll come back when I fin. You can't talk like I talk, cause you ain't shit where I've been. Small circle, it's a chosen few. I wrote it down and I followed through. I bought a pound and we rode the few. I talk shit, but she know it's true. Ocean views, small circle, it's a chosen few. I wrote it down and I followed through. I bought a pound and we rode the few. I talk shit, but she know it's true. Blessings, it's in my section. Yo, with all this money, I'm obsessive. Weapons, turning off y'all extras. Turning off this bullshit direction. Turning up my grind, waking up to more pressure. But it's all in your mind, so I never feel pressure. Know it's all in due time. Now running stacking like Tetris. Hustle hard is my message, then double back and get extras. Know I spaz when I catch it. Yellow bone, white Lexus. All black tan, two white cuts, fat gold chain, Sprite Texas. I'm just young and I'm reckless. I'm just on for my section. I'm just out here on top speed with my top down and I'm revving. I don't know about hell, I don't know about heaven. All I know is about right now and this lifestyle is interesting. Ice down in my session, I just write down his confessions. Daddy got life around me, I guess that I'm an exception. Bless ocean views, small circle, it's a chosen few. I wrote it down and I followed through. I bought a pound and we rode the few. I talk shit, but she know it's true. Ocean views, small circle, it's a chosen few. I wrote it down and I followed through. I bought a pound and we rode the few. I talk shit, but she know it's true. Look, I'm in these streets with my Cuban on, and my biz with my music on. Old friends like what you and all. Shit, I've been on my grind, I ain't usually home. Focused, I ain't using phones. Lately I've been using songs to get my point across. My niggas around me lose it all, but that's your point of toss. I guess I always move the ball. And that's just where revolves. I'm cracking cause I do my job. Look, from rats to stars, spinning all cash to sliding cards. It's the definition of living large. Smoking top flight in the biggest cars. Told you 08, this shit was ours. Getting this cake, yeah, nigga, and getting more. Look at this world, young nigga, it's really yours. This really mine, my nigga, this really Ford. Them buildings is really high, them cars is really foreign, and all I see is ocean views. Small circle, it's a chosen few. I wrote it down and I followed through. I bought a pound and we rode the few. I talk shit, but she know it's true. Ocean views, small circle, it's a chosen few. I wrote it down and I followed through. I bought a pound and we rode the few. I talk shit, but she know it's true. Yeah, early morning off that flight though. We gon' go hard, then get right, bro. It seems simple, that's not life though. 10 years later, I'm alright though.
To the brother Nipsey Hussle, man.
From one bitty brother to the next, man. I appreciate all that you did.
I'm so mad that you got taken away from us, good brother. Did a lot of community work.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of community work, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Choo-On-That show on True Radio. It's your boy, Mr. Randy Choo.
Christopher J.
And Christopher J's in the building, my co-host. And y'all already know I got the lovely special guest, Tiff Talk, in the building, a.k.a. Tiff Ram.
All the way from the West Coast, cuz.
And that's with 2 M's.
Right. Yes, 2 M's.
Like Eminem.
All the way from the West Coast, cuz.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, cuz. All the way from the West Coast.
Peep this. Speaking of community work, man, we've been out here. We in Maryland, and they've been locking everything down, man. So we just been doing food drives, trying to feed people.
Facts.
We got a food drive coming up Thursday. Actually, we had one Monday. We have another one Thursday.
Where at?
1350 Blair Drive, Odenton, Maryland,
Blair
21113.
Pull up if you need that.
I say I pull out and
Yeah.
hop out.
Hey,
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
on
hungry.
Whoa.
You see it.
Yeah, so and then we're gonna try to keep having them every Monday is what we're trying to do. So if you follow me on Instagram, I'll start putting the information out there too. That's at Mr. Randy Choo. Follow the radio station at Choo Radio on
Choo
all
Radio.
platforms.
How can they donate? I just got asked that question.
How can they donate? Listen. Oh, snap. I got the Patreon set up
All right.
through podbean.com, which is trueradio.podbean.com. Go
Is
on
you
there.
listening?
And you can donate there. If you want to donate to the local food drive, just inbox me and I'll have you come and donate to the local food drive to the people. And man, I'm talking about we say we're gonna open at 10 a.m. At 7:50, the line is already packed.
Yeah, we
like
in
it's
there. Yeah.
it's out there.
Yeah.
People can't get out the cars. We just load their trunks up with food, keep it moving.
Facts.
I do a lot of community grassroots work, so I've been doing it for a long time. But anyway, listen. The number to dial in is 516-531-9828.
Listen.
That's 516-531-9828. Tiff Talk. I just want to know something. You see, my audience is not used to having a woman being transparent. They're used to these
I ain't used to it.
sugarcoating. Let me preach for a moment. I said they're used to these sugarcoating,
Huh?
Uh-oh.
makeup beating up their face wearing,
Well.
Hey, hey, hey.
weave having.
Oh my God.
Listen, so since we're talking about self-reflection, before I get into the next question, I just gotta say I respect you for how you handled your divorce. A lot of people don't understand, don't know that you're divorced. They don't know what you had to go through all that. Do you mind sharing that story for a moment before we get back into the questions and all that?
Sure.
Just as long as you, yeah,
Shout out to women with the hurt.
yeah, facts.
Abbreviated version background, let's see, is that being completely transparent, I married my side dude. So there's one.
That's real.
I married my
She
side-
married the help.
That's real. No, hold on. That's real. That's real. She married the side dude. Or go ahead. No. Listen. I hope, man. I wish
married
everybody
my
was
side
listening.
She married the help. Okay.
Also happened to be a pastor's kid.
Oh,
And-
I know how you feel on that.
I don't.
It's horrible.
So that's just some background to, like, I guess how I got to where I got.
She real.
The first 8 to 10 years, 8 of the 10 years we were like on and off or together or whatever. 8 of the 10 years I actually did make more than my ex-husband, but I didn't tell anybody that. Like, out of respect, I love you. Like, he always had a bigger title, an important title. So why would we make it known that I make more than him? So
Right.
the only reason that's important is because then when we chose to move to the West Coast, he actually did promote up and double his income,
Okay.
which is huge. It's very important. And of course, I was proud of him, and that's significant.
Right.
But that doubling of the income didn't actually make up for my loss of income. But we still decided he wanted to support my dream and like wanted me to pursue entertainment full time. So he was like, just stop working your other full-time job, which is social work.
Okay.
And like pursue entertainment. And that's where I think the ignorance that we talked about earlier kind of started. Because what woman doesn't want a man to, believe in her and, let her not have to work? and all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
of
know a
course
human
you
that
want
don't want
that. You
that.
want like the Christian man and the good job and all of that. So I was like, oh, yay. But I also knew the truth, which is like his income didn't actually make up for my loss of income. So I'm still conscious of that. But essentially over time, what happened is that my ex used finances as a means to manipulation. And it got very ugly, very dark, pretty fast. But because I was known to my friends and family and everybody in our communities, and we had just moved 1,000 miles away from everybody we knew, when I finally realized what was happening, it was also a lot of shame and guilt. So like
Okay.
nobody wants to admit like, oh, my husband's completely manipulating me financially and cheating and God knows what else he was doing. I don't know to this day. I kind of don't care. But yeah, so by the time I decided to leave, that's what I had discovered, that he was hiding $30,000 in credit card debt, definitely cheating, and a load of other things. But by that point, I had zero money. Like I had whittled down my savings to pay the few bills he wasn't actually still like actually paying for me. He was using the credit cards, which he insisted I use for everything, to track my move. Like he knew when I was buying groceries, he knew where I pumped gas when, because there were live alerts to his Apple Watch. So by the time I like everything blew up and I had to leave, I literally had nothing. He cut off my phone. He cut off my Wi-Fi. Like it was a whole
God
situation.
dang.
No, that's what somebody just said.
Yeah, yeah, it was a whole situation. So when I left, the part that some people don't understand is that is financial abuse. And so I actually did file for spousal support or alimony as a means to leave.
Right.
Because legally speaking, he did make me his dependent and I was reliant on that income to survive until I got back on my feet.
Yeah,
But I
absolutely.
do that. Thankfully, I was, smart enough and mentally strong enough to do that. Whereas a lot of men and women aren't. Later on, I found out that he also had cashed out his 401k and didn't claim it on our taxes. So the IRS later, when we were divorced, tried to come after me for the back taxes. But thankfully, there is a clause to protect against that. For like, mostly it came from women and men of domestic violence,
Correct.
called spousal relief. So I was able to provide all the documentation of financial abuse for them to like basically say I wasn't responsible for that, for the $6,000 in back taxes. So yeah, it was a whole situation.
So you definitely went through hell. That explains why you trying to build your mansion in the sky.
But you know what, Tiff? But you know what, Tiff? What since that moment of your liberation, um, what have you built on your own? How did you realize? How did you get the strength to keep moving? Because there's a lot of women that's listening to the show right now that need to hear this,
Right.
that they can pick themselves up. And I don't want to focus on your divorce and your past. I want to focus on how you built yourself up in those dark moments and where you're at right now. Go ahead.
One, I will say I'm super blessed to have an amazing and extraordinary support system. So I did have family that were able to like send me gift cards and, just send me empowering cards and notes or whatever. So, trying not to, in any of these kind of processes, trying to insulate yourself with a really outstanding support system is always critical for anything in life. But two is that accountability. Like I sit down a long-term goal, like financially, like how do I recover my credit? I need to take responsibility, whether, whose fault it is, it's still mine. So I have to build it. I had to take action steps and make like a plan that I realized was going to take 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And just like, it's okay, one step at a time. So that's what I did.
Whoa, wait. So you telling me, Tiff, you telling me that we have a special guest on the line right now, Tiff Talk, and she just not only went through all of that, but she has the ability to allow patience to operate in her life and not microwave and rush things, not use her looks or her body as a stepping stone to get ahead, but to actually self-reflect and build herself up.
My friend. It seems as such that we have a woman who did what she was supposed to do, and that was heal from the hurt. Rather than bleed on the next person that she decided.
Dog.
I think that's what it sounds like.
I'm not an angel. I would say I dabbled.
Now, hold on now. Hold on now. No one said you. No one said that you was an angel or hold any sort of spiritual status of
It's
such.
just not for me.
So Tiff, let me ask this, and then I'm gonna throw it to Christopher J. Let me ask this, and audience, please, audience, listen.
I got people comment. I'm gonna speak on that too when it's my turn.
Listen, if they got questions, they can comment on Instagram. They can hit us up on YouTube. Hey, YouTube has the live chat.
Oh yeah. If y'all listen on Instagram, go ahead and chime in on YouTube. If not, you looked at my story on Instagram. Call into the number. Ask your quick. Talk your stuff. Call in and talk your stuff. Call in and talk your stuff. But I'm gonna definitely chime in on these comments that are right here because I got a few comments for you, Miss Tip Talk. Because there's some people. I got some females that are chiming in and giving you kudos.
Hold on. So before I ask my question, let's go ahead and chime into these girls. What they saying to Tiff Talk?
So I got a couple of people. I got a couple of women that are literally, pardon my French, that are saying "God damn" for everything that you done went through. All right. Let's see. I
that nigga was crazy.
And then I got a brother that says, "Wow, he was a side nigga for a reason to begin with," and you definitely look. And he says, you definitely grew from that. Yeah. So he was giving you your kudos.
Yeah,
definitely giving you your kudos for what it is that you did and what you grew through. So I'm proud of you.
Yes.
My brothers are proud of you.
Yes.
And when I say brothers, I mean fellow alpha males because birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
don't hang with weak people.
Yeah.
So these alpha males are also applauding you for what it is that you did.
Thank you.
So let me set up the question like this. Listen, if you're listening, the number to dial is 516-531-9828. 516-531-9828.
Say it again.
I'm gonna say it one more time. 516-531. 531.
Ooh, you almost messed me up.
I got you. 98.
28.
Yes, sir.
Call
in. Listen. So
call in. I need people to go. If y'all call in, we gonna make this interesting.
I'm gonna throw this one to you first, Chris.
Good Lord have mercy.
And then I'm gonna throw it to Tiff Talk. Listen. The topic is a deeper look at self-evaluation, self-quarantine, self-reflecting on the True Noble Truths Part 2. Part 1, we talked about loyalty versus destiny. Oh, Tiff, I wish I had you on that. Oh, man.
Her story would have mattered.
It would have been perfect.
I would have loved to.
Bro, it would have been perfect. Listen. You know what? I'm almost tempted to do an exclusive show with Tiff Talk at least once a month. At least. I'm not gonna put her on the spot right now though.
Oh man.
I'm not. That's a behind the scenes conversation.
Even though she's listening, but whatever.
Yeah. But anyway, so and for y'all who was watching via YouTube and the video and all that, bear with me. Oh snap, we got a caller. Hold up, I'm about to bring this caller through.
Hey, oh my God,
caller, you're on the line. 202. Talk to us. What's your name? Where you calling from? Oh, the caller just hung up. Dagnabbit.
Hey, what y'all doing? Y'all calling it? What y'all?
Don't be scared.
Hold on now. That number sound familiar.
Yeah, that was a 202. But anyway, so listen. True Noble Truths Part 2.
Call back. Whoever was calling it, call back.
Call back.
And don't hang up, please.
Don't hang up. Listen.
Dang.
So we had True Noble Truths the intro and the part 1 was loyalty versus destiny. Sometimes your loyalty will hinder your destiny.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that. Part 2 is a deeper look at self-evaluation. So let me ask this question. Christopher J, you answer first, and Tiff Talk, you holler at him.
All right.
What are some things that happening recently that triggered you? Oh, hold up. We got a caller.
Yeah, that might be.
Uh-oh. I'm going to get the caller first, then we got my God.
Hey,
okay.
Let him in.
Area code 240. What's your name? Where you calling from?
A King at work.
Say that again.
A king at work. I'm calling from a king at work.
A king at work.
I'm
Oh,
calling from
what's
the
up,
DC
Dave?
area.
What up, Dave?
Okay. Dave, you got a question for us or Tiff Talk? What's going on? Talk to us.
So, now just hearing her story, it's crazy. It's crazy, like how she held him down like that, as far as stood by him, knowing that she made more money than him.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't speak on it. Still held him down, and then when he came up, when he eventually, you know what I'm saying, doubled his salary, he started acting different.
Folded
And,
on her.
I mean, to go through that for 10 years, is that what it was? She went through it like she was with him for 10 years. To go through that for 10 years is crazy. Definitely salute her for that. That's definitely something to be proud of, as far as to come out and still have a mindset, a positive mindset like she do.
That's growth.
And how she's coming off is, you know what I'm saying, she's very intelligent. She knows what she's talking about, and she knows her flaws. And for her to know that and understand that and go through that, she can help a lot of women out here.
For sure. For sure.
So, big shout out to Tiff Talk.
Tiff Talk, you want to respond to that?
Well, thank you. I will say it doesn't just happen to women, though. You know, basically, anytime someone has more relationship, they can become, you know, the dominant and abuse you with that money and that power. You know, best example is like people joke about Oprah and Stedman or whatever. Like Stedman does have his own money, that's obviously not as much, but yeah, whoever has the most money can be the person who is antagonizing that situation. So it isn't just women. That's even more taboo if it was a man being abused financially. But I just want to say that. But thank you very much.
So, question.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think? Is one of the biggest challenges with being married that people should focus more on? Do you think it's financially?
I honestly think people focus on finances in the wrong way in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you know, having combined finances can work if you communicate and trust each other, or having separate finances can work. I think really what people need to recognize in marriage is that we've kind of lied to ourselves about what the agreement is. And I tell people this, I relationships and in professions and just in life, is that I don't lie, but I reserve the right to change my mind. And we're meant to evolve and grow, but we haven't really taught each other how we communicate that. You know, our sexual preference or desires in the bedroom or fantasies might change. Our food preferences might change. And how do you navigate that within a relationship? Right. Truly the biggest hurdle for people in marriage and any relationship is communicating changes that we thought were going to be, you know, stable.
Right. Hey, Tiff Talk, you did that, girl. I'm trying to tell you, girl.
Listen, caller, I thank you for calling in.
Hey, appreciate you, big homie.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Listen, the number to dial in is 516-531-9828. Oh my goodness.
The topic for the people that's asking on Instagram is the true noble truths. Okay, right now we literally have a guest speaker, me and also the host of the show, that we are literally just exercising transparency during this quarantine time now.
Yes.
And if you're able to do so on the topic at hand, listening in, you know what I'm saying, chime in, call the number. I put the number in on the comments. So feel free to scroll back up in the comments. Again, what's the number?
The number is 516-531-9828.
If you're able to chime in, hey, look, by all means, do so. If you haven't heard already, Tiff Talk, she gave a wonderful, wonderful life story. And so we had a couple of callers try to call in on that. So we're going to keep the show going, though, so feel free to keep chiming in.
The highest form of intelligence is the ability to observe without evaluation. In other words,
two eyes and one mouth.
yeah. In other words, my ability to just see things, my ability to behold things without my conditioned mind trying to give an explanation to it
or manipulate it.
Correct. And or to bend the knee to it or to acquiesce to it is the same thing as being intelligent. When I can no longer give my opinion on something and I just watch it happen. You got to remember, the word intelligence means to the word intelligence in the American way means to gather or collect information.
Reconnaissance.
If I can evaluate myself, if I can observe myself, I'm sorry.
Right.
Without my religious or society opinions or conditioning or beliefs, then I can really self-quarantine. Because you got to remember, even though the elites are evil and they created the coronavirus, they got the patent number for it and they did all this craziness with it, at the end of the day, especially us, and I'm looking at my skin right now as black folks, we always rise above everything. You one of us. You get pulled over by police, they're going to call you a nigga. Anyway, back to what I was saying.
They look at my beard and think otherwise. They're gonna look at my beard and think otherwise. I don't do well with airports.
When you think about it, you just say you don't do good with airports. Nigga, you look like Osama bin Laden's son. That's why.
Duh. That's what I was talking about.
This nigga is Chris bin Laden.
The Chris bin Laden. That's what you're talking about. They be like, wait a minute, he's not going to Puerto Rico.
But listen, there comes a time where you have to challenge your own thought process, your own conditioning.
But
you have to understand your own value.
That still requires accountability, though.
And you also have to understand what your actions have done to devalue yourself in the eyes of others. And this is why I brought the special guest Tiff Talk on the show, is because she's the type of woman. It reminds me of my wife. Let me chime into this.
Yeah,
my wife is the type of woman who can give 2 shades of a squirrel's left nutsack about what you think about her. At the end of the day, she gonna do what she do, how she wanna do it, and all that.
That's sis.
You know it.
That's sis.
She gonna speak her mind.
That's sis.
No matter who you are, but at the same time, when the king walks in the room, she knows how to play her freaking position.
She act accordingly.
And it's not because I dominate her. It's because she's self-reflected so much that she understands that in order to be a masculine, to be a alpha female, you got to be with an alpha male. Tiff Talk. I honestly can say that you wasn't with an alpha male. I'm almost in a sense.
I could have died. I think all my viewers could have told you that.
I'm almost in a sense close to saying there's got to be part of you, because of the damage of that nigga, you got to be kind of attracted to females.
Oh, not because of him. I've been attracted to females my whole life.
Oh, my God. Talk to me.
My chest.
The people are watching you.
Before all that happens, I've been very sexually fluid since before I can remember.
The number to dial in is 516-531-9828.
Yeah, what he said.
516-531-9828. Listen, Tiff Talks. Listen, stay with me. What have been some triggers recently that have made you unawareably self-reflect on yourself?
Aside from what you went through.
Yeah, we're not talking about
aside from what you went through. Yeah, we're gonna leave that alone.
Leave that nigga in the past. We're talking about now.
By the way, I got a couple of people on my Instagram who are females who are dropping eyeball emojis who want to know who you are. So go look at my story. Y'all can figure out. Slide their DMs. It's 2020.
Listen, and guys, listen. Let me say this. Tiff Talk is family. Don't send her no bad pictures on her DMs. Don't do none of that. All right?
Ladies, no dick pics, please. Thank you.
Yes. If you live in LA, shoot your shot. That's all I can say.
But if you on the East Coast,
leave it alone.
I'm finna get the strap, cuz.
You know what I'm saying? All right, Tiff Talk. What have been some triggers recently that have made you self-reflect, self-evaluate, either pat yourself on the back or condemn yourself in a sense recently?
Well, I mean, one to pat myself on the back was my credit score got destroyed during that process. So I, over the last calendar year, was able to raise my credit score 80 points in 12 months. So, yeah, that's a huge win that I was like, go me. But I also had to be reflective because I was like, man, I let that happen. What the F? So,
dang.
But more recently is in my new relationship, being loved is a trigger. Like,
say it again?
As of a person that I am, like receiving love, I didn't realize was going to be so triggering because I'm like, well, is that real? I don't know. So just being like very conscious of that and aware of like just how experiencing love again is.
It's crazy how toxicity can directly affect something that is healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Look.
Listen, there comes a point where toxic behavior is so strong that it can damage. Go ahead. What you about to say, Chris?
It's at a point right now where toxic behavior become normal.
Oh my! Listen, it's
normal.
The fact that we sit here and say that loyalty is rare.
That's a problem.
That's a problem.
Toxicity has become normal. It got to the point where, like, so if a healthy love comes across you, I got to push you away because I got to get back to this toxicity that I was divulging in.
Yo, listen.
I like the way Shorty.
There are so many people who are in relationships right now that literally don't know that they have a good person beside them because they're used to being dogged out.
Can you? I don't know. The people that just chime in.
But you also got to remember. That the universe is only going to send to you that which you attract. So, in self-reflecting,
that which you need to learn. I won't say that which you attract.
No. But you got to understand, Chris.
Break it down.
If you need to learn something, you have to attract that lesson. You attract that teacher. When you go to college, if you want a degree in something, you are signing up or you're attracting to the professor that's teaching that class.
Someone said both. Someone says both. And I totally agree.
I agree with both.
So I'm going to say this. Let's just say.
Okay.
You're broken.
Uh-huh.
So therefore you attract broken.
Yes.
I'm healed. Therefore I attract broken because they want healing. But I have to have the discipline to know when to cut something off and keep something at bay.
Right.
You have to know when to cut something off.
But
so that
the
way you can
problem is, true noble truths. The problem is that if you are healed, then that means you have a level of discernment where you can see where someone doesn't really want healing.
Is that your gift, though?
They want affirmation. No. Because if I'm healed...
You can see that. You can see it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you that.
You see what I'm saying?
I'll give you that. But
So
again, but that still what I said. It requires discipline.
Females call it intuition.
Touche.
When a female doesn't follow her intuition, 9 times out of 10 she's
stupid.
Screwed. Can I get an amen, Tip Talk? Tip Talk. Yes. Can I get a hallelujah?
That's what they call it. They said it. They said it is stupid.
Listen. The conscience always makes you alert of things. Now it's different. Now let me describe the difference between your conscience and your thought processes that are just stupid. Your conscience is the thing that tells you, hey, listen to this, observe this, watch this, pay attention. Your conscience never tells you to act. It always tells you to pay attention to something so you can collect the information in order to make a wise decision.
Correct.
Women call it intuition. Men call it conscience or their thoughts, whatever.
Knowledge.
Religion calls it whatever they call it, the spirit or whatever. Listen.
Depending on their religion. Yeah, you're right.
Depending on their religion. Listen. If you're not, but here's the thing. We're so focused on everyone else.
Correct.
That we forget to follow our own conscience or our own intuition about ourselves.
You lose your identity.
Tiff Talk, I want you, and then I'm going to throw it to Christopher J, to talk to the women about proper steps to self-evaluate while they're in this lockdown. And then I want you to, after you lay out them steps, I want you to give them your social media platform because there's some women that need you to mentor them. I'm just going to put it out there. There's some women that need your guidance. And you don't have, it's not an everyday thing. It's not even a once a month thing. It's a, hey, this is what I've been going through. This is how I handled it. This is what I thought about it.
Right.
Because you've been through a lot, Tiff. And so just give them some steps, some proper steps, or some guidance, or some advice, or some things. And then Christopher J, I want you to holler at the young man.
So I'll give this disclaimer up front also that I have a master's in clinical social work. So I actually do professionally like life coaching and guide people through mental health. So I've spent a good portion of my life coaching and working with teens and adults on behavior change and like bettering themselves.
Oh,
so my niche.
It's called, but my homies and some bill collectors say you love rings.
Okay, go ahead, Tiff Talk.
Okay. That being said, especially for women during this time, this is a time that's going to be challenging, especially if you have kids, because now everybody has even more access to you. So if you're home more than you normally are and you're the care provider, I always tell women and men, there are single dads out here too, that you have to create your own space. You have to make an effort, whether that's locking yourself in the bathroom, whether that's going for a drive in the car, whatever that looks like, you have to build that into your routine. You have to put it on a schedule, like you schedule your doctor's appointments and paying your bills. So you have to schedule that into either your daily or weekly routine, whatever it is. So whether, it used to be for a lot of women, it used to be getting your hair or nails done or whatever, but you have to make that a priority because self-care, like you were saying earlier, if you aren't 100% for yourself, you can't be 100% for your friends and family.
Correct.
So you have to schedule that into your routine, your daily schedule. And then second, for reflection is you'll have to journal, whether that's speaking into a voice memo, writing it down, but journaling is always 100% the most effective way to be self-reflective.
Tiff Talk. Also, give them your social media again so they can hit you up because I'm pretty sure the women are not going to want to expose themselves. I dare them to call into the show now.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah, if you're listening on my Instagram, call in or follow her on Tiff Talk on Instagram.
Yes.
And
so it's Tiff Talk TV everywhere. TIFF TALK TV. if you get really nosy and you want to know like all the things about me, I do have a website that's just TiffanyRamm.com.
Or you can slide in her DMs.
Fellas, you are not permitted to slide into the DMs.
Not from the East Coast, at least.
Unless you are in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
If it's in LA, I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, right.
She's a grown woman. She take care of herself.
She's a grown-ass woman.
And real quick, I have some people on YouTube that have some questions. But before we get into that, I want to take a quick 2-minute break. Just 2 minutes. I'm going to play this song. And we're going to be right back in 2.2. Y'all stay tuned.
For sure, lady.
Wants to borrow money. I two-way her, she don't hit me back. Something is funny. So I called her mother's house and asked her had she seen my baby. I rolled my six around looking for that missing lady. Got back in, turned the TV on and caught the news. Then I put my hand on my head, cause I'm so confused. And then I turned the TV down. Cause I thought I heard a squeaky sound. Something's going on upstairs, yeah. Cause I know nobody else lives here. As I get closer to the stairways, all I hear, and then I hear my baby's voice in my ear, screaming out, contagious, touch me, baby, give me what you got. Then a man said, sexy lady, drive me crazy, drive me wild. I just can't believe this shit. I ran downstairs, looked in the closet, looking for that. Said a prayer, cause only God knows what I'm gonna do. What I saw was enough to drive a preacher wild. I'm in the hall, contemplate not in my own damn house. Who would have thought she was creeping with another man? The download happening to me all over again. And then I turned the TV down, cause I know I heard a squeaky sound. Something going on up there upstairs, cause I know and no one else lives here. As I get closer to the stairways, all I hear, and then I hear my baby's voice in my ear, screaming, you're contagious, touch me, baby, touch me, give me whatever, sexy lady, I heard another man, drive me crazy, drive me wild, and I just can't believe this shit. What the hell is going on between the sheets in my home?
Baby, wait, let me explain before you start to point your cane.
Girl, I'm about to have a fit.
Oh, it's about to be some. How did I get into this? Should've never came home with this.
Go down, dirty woman, back to where you come from.
But baby,
wait, man, hit the street, your ass is grand.
It's the bigs before you're done.
Wait, how you know my name, son?
honey, wait, I was gonna tell you.
Ooh, this cat looks real familiar. Now don't I know you from somewhere a long time ago?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I feel I know you, brother, very well.
No, you're mistaking me for somebody else.
Shut up. Can't you see two men are talking? Thought I told you to get to walking. Now I think y'all better leave this place, cause I'm about to catch a case. You're contagious, touch me, baby, touch me, give me whatever. You're contagious, touch
crazy.
Drive me wild.
During this quarantine.
I just can't believe this. Listen.
Cough, cough, cough.
You are listening to Mr. Randy Choo,
AKA
Mr. Choo-On-That,
AKA
Mr. Slap Your Grandmama.
not my grandmother. But it's Christopher J on the mic though. You know what I'm talking
You know
about.
what I'm saying? And we are here with the lovely Tiff Talk. Say hi to the people. For those who are on the East Coast, stay out of the DMs.
Yeah. And off the highways because they arresting people.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna get real news.
That martial law is in a physic. Listen. True Noble Truths Part 2. We laying the foundation for something big. You know my show ends at 10 o'clock. I want people to call in and talk to Tiff Talk.
Yeah.
I want my people to show her love and support.
Yeah, especially the female followers, female audience, call in. You know what I'm saying? I pinned the number in to call in.
Okay.
Look, I'm talking. She's a strong individual, strong female out here in these streets. I mean, she on the West Coast, so you know them streets is tougher, cuz.
Yeah,
But no, she out here making a difference. Look, she done been through some things. So if you need somebody to share some pain with, you need somebody to be able to get some knowledge from, some wisdom. She the person to talk to.
Listen. Krishnamurti said this. He said that real learning comes about when the competitive spirit has ceased.
Say it again.
While you're self-quarantined, ask yourself, are you envious of another nigga? Have you been secretly jealous of what someone else possesses or have? I'm not just talking about material stuff.
Something they do, they skills.
A lot of times, people bring drama in other people's lives because they're not happy with their own. If you are a troublemaker, a trouble starter, and you bring that into someone else's life, you need to self-reflect and realize that you're unhappy yourself. Do you realize that? I don't think people realize that. You're not supposed to find happiness in another person.
Correct.
You're supposed to find happiness within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that if you love someone because they love you, it's a bargain, it's an exchange, it's not true love. Love requires nothing in return.
Say it again, say it again.
I said my brothers and sisters,
you got jokes. Nigga, I got asthma, don't do that.
Yo, you got that Rona?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Just checking. I'm honored to have Tiff Talk on the show. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm real honored because I want to have her on the show more and more. I don't want her to be viewed as a special guest. I want her to be viewed as a part of the Choo-On-That family. Because we need women that are open and honest and transparent like the way she is, and I'm just proud of how she built herself back up. Someone on YouTube asked a question. I want to dive into it. They said,
break it down.
They would like to hear our thoughts about saying marriage is 50-50 as opposed to being 100-100. And God dang.
You see what happened, right? You see I just got locked in real quick. Not to get locked
I'm going to throw it to Tiff Talk first, then I'm going to answer, then I'm going to throw it to Christopher J.
I ain't never been married, but all right.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I chose you as last.
All right. That's cool. That works.
Tiff Talk to the people.
So wait, let me just be clear before I respond. Are they saying they think it's 50-50 or 100-100?
No, they're saying that majority of people say that marriage is 50-50, but they're saying they think it's 100-100.
Okay.
Right.
Chime in on IG.
My real answer is that most of the time it needs to be 100 100. If you're not both being your best self or attempting to be, then relationship isn't going to work. But again, we as humans forget we're humans. You need to be flexible enough to understand sometimes you're allowed to have a bad day. So when your partner is only having a 40% day, are you willing to be 160%? You know, that's what true partnership is. Marriage in its real essence is to be a complement to one another. So when you are down, can I still be up? Or can I come down and meet you where you're at to bring us both up? That's what true partnership is.
But what you're saying takes a level of humility that most people in society today are not willing to show. And what was you about to say something?
No, I was going to speak on behalf of my
this world.
Yes, and China even said that their divorce rate went up since they locked down and quarantined people.
That's crazy.
Well, I imagine that when you're forced to be with someone for longer periods of time, you really realize if you like yourself and if you even really like them. A lot of people, like I'm in LA, a lot of people are in relationships for cohabitation, not because they like each other. Wow. They can't break up because the cost of living is so high.
Wow. Hold up. So you mean to tell me you got people in LA that you know niggas is shacking up to pay the rent?
Lots of people are shacking up to pay their rent. A lot of people stay married just because they can't afford to get divorced.
Yeah, niggas love you just to get by.
And that's $425 per person, the person who files and the person who responds, just to start the process.
Wow.
A lot of people don't have that.
Wow.
It's only a $35 application for the marriage certificate, but it costs a G just to start a divorce.
Oh my goodness.
So they just suck it up just to not have to pay that, John. That's crazy.
Tiff, is there a moment where self-reflection can bring about depression?
Absolutely.
Talk to me.
So self-reflection often causes depression when we ruminate, right? So when we get to self-reflecting and we notice negatives, either deficits in ourselves or, like you said, becoming envious of someone else, it becomes a catalyst for depression when we ruminate on it. Ruminate means we consistently get stuck on it.
You just stay there. You just stay there.
Right. And so that depression comes from is that you get stuck on that one thing, that one aspect, you know, like, oh, my finances are so trash, they're so terrible. Instead of being able to think like, what are my options for money, or how can I make more money, or who could support me or help me out of this? They just get stuck on that one aspect, like, oh, I don't have enough.
Right.
Christopher J, talk to the people.
I definitely feel like it can definitely bring about depression. If you're not in a place of growth, look, there's a few things. I've said this multiple times, and I say, like, to people that are listening, people on my Instagram, I've said this to them multiple times if we've had one-on-one conversations. If everyone loves diamonds, and Tiff Talk, as a woman, they say it's a woman's best friend, right? Diamonds, like women love diamond jewelry. And a lot of brothers, they love diamonds. I got this many carats around my neck, on my Cuban links, and in my ears. And the thing is, we love all these diamonds in order to add worth to our bodies, because we obviously lack self-worth. But that's another day's story too. We love diamonds, but we never willingly want to go through the process in which how a diamond is made, and that's through a lot of heat and pressure.
Talk, young man.
We run from the heat and pressure that creates the diamonds that we envy so much. Yeah. See, a lot of people can look at a butterfly pollinate flower to flower, and we can say, oh man, that butterfly is so beautiful. But no one has ever taken the time to ask what that butterfly had to go through to get there. Wow. It willingly put itself in isolation. Yes. It willingly isolated itself and then put itself in a position to where it has to put in physical work to get out of that isolation in order to show its growth. But show me a human that willingly does that.
I'm going to say this. Desire is serving oneself.
Correct. I agree.
You cannot. The fact that you say you desire to see someone else do good, in of itself, shows that you have self-motive. During this self-quarantine, I realized something. I have to let go of desire. Now, this is Mr. Randy Choo being transparent.
Do you?
I desire to see the people that I love grab everything that they dream of.
Okay.
But that's selfish of me to think that way.
Is it though?
It is. Let me tell you why. Because goals can change. But if my desire is to see, say for example, let me give you an example. If you wanted to be in the NBA,
okay,
my desire, and you say, "Hey, Mr. Randy Choo, my goal is to be in the NBA."
all right,
My desire is now to see you in the NBA because of my love and care for you.
okay.
The moment your goal switches to something more realistic, but my desire is still to see you in the NBA, I'm still being selfish. I am.
All right. So at that point, but what you said, your initial desire involves someone else's.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, so for example, the concept of you can bring a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink it.
Yes.
At what point do we stop thinking that the horse maybe didn't need water, maybe it needed food?
That's the point I'm getting to.
Okay.
Because my desire for another person is selfish because that person has to tell me what their own desire is.
Your desire should be for what another person does, not what they say, because what a person says is who they want to be. What a person does is who they are.
Talk your talk, young man.
Potential and liking someone for who they are.
Correct.
You just have how you desire.
Correct.
Your desire here, and you can desire for them to have what their heart desires, but like you said, it may change.
Correct.
So if you desire that for them, you will change with them.
Your heart can desire all that at once. What your actions do determine how bad you want it.
Right.
You know, Tiff, I come to realize that as human beings, that we have a lot of fear.
Mm-hmm.
But fear is an indicator that we're attached to something.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
What is, before we get off the air, because time has ran out, and I'm pissed off that it ran out because
this is the best one so far.
Yo, this has been the best.
You did that, Tiff Talk.
Listen, since
I've
relaunched the Chew-On-That show 3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
I stopped in 2017. I relaunched in 2020. I have to say that this has been the most engaged, most exciting, most emotionally stimulating show that I've had since the relaunch. And to be honest, Tiff Talk, I think it's because you were on the show.
I'm glad I had.
Now, that means that I'm going to have you on the show more and more and more, but that's another topic for another day and another discussion. But anyway, what is it, in closing, panel, what is it that what is your biggest fear, and what is that fear actually showing you that you're attached to? Chris J, then Tiff Talk.
I'll be honest. I'm going to be transparent. My biggest fear in life, period. I'm not scared of no man, woman, boy, girl, animal, species that lives. I'm not scared of a bullet. I've been held at gunpoint. I don't care about none of that. What I am afraid of is uncertainty. And so that uncertainty stimulates. It overstimulates. I already have ambition.
Mm-hmm.
I already have a great work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
So it overstimulates my work ethic to know more.
Mm-hmm.
So to know everything can be a form of toxicity, whether for someone wants to like admit that or not. I'm telling you, it is. Because if you think that you can know everything, you can't. Because everything doesn't exist just yet.
Right,
so
right.
to want to know everything and to drive to know everything, to work and to have everything, you can't do that. So my fear of uncertainty drives me to work to know and to have all.
Wow.
But I don't know or to have all.
Wow.
I can't.
Wow. So in other words, you're saying that your biggest fear is confusion, because confusion is when you no longer have the knowledge about the present or the future.
Correct. And confusion causes chaos, and I'm a man of order.
Talk your talk, young man.
Yeah. And if you bring chaos, we got problems.
Tiff, talk to me.
Okay, so I guess one of my greatest fears really is repeating the same mistakes, because my fears that I haven't learned. And so that's why I'm like so almost methodical about being self-reflective and trying to balance that trauma versus intuition and listening to my becoming centered and whole again. So I can actually learn the lessons that were intended so I don't repeat them.
Okay.
Whoa, she said something in that oh my God, trauma versus intuition.
Yeah, thank you. Now I was hoping somebody, whether it be some audience member or you, Tiff Talk, would say that as a woman.
Oh my God, you know we might have to have a show about that specific topic.
Tiff Talk is my new fave.
Yo, you gotta follow her at Tiff Talk.
I didn't, but I'm gonna follow you tonight
on Instagram.
I'm gonna follow you.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. The only way that, how can I say it? I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna end the show on this note. Fear cannot exist by itself. It can only exist through relation to something. You're conscious of fear. It's because by something outside of yourself you're holding on to, or something within yourself you don't want to let go. God dang. Sometimes I surprise myself when I say stuff.
I believe.
The will to survive, the will to be satisfied, the will to continue on, yada, yada, yada. This is the very root cause of our fears. But fear is a reaction when your resistance is weakened. Okay. See, in self-quarantine, most people that don't go out are now thinking about going out because their resistance is weak. Their walls have been shattered. Their options have been limited. They understand that they have been given liberties and they never really had true freedom.
Now speak your stuff.
When the walls of your self-protection have been broken down, that's when you're aware of your fear, and your immediate reaction is to patch those walls up.
By patch, that means don't put a Band-Aid on them. Actually heal the issues.
We have gathered, in our thoughts, we have gathered certain values, treasures, and we guard them accordingly, whether it's our religious belief, our society beliefs, whatever we call, what I classify as indoctrination, we guard them based upon the value that we place on them in our own minds.
Correct.
However, if someone challenges the value of that which we treasure,
we go against it.
We automatically begin to respond to them out of anger, disappointment, or sadness,
or uncertainty,
which all are a byproduct of the root cause, which is fear. We fear to lose the value of that which we hold at a high level.
Correct.
For example, diamonds aren't rare. It's just that niggas hold them in a high value so much that the jeweler can price them at a higher price.
They're not rare as in to come across them. It's just hard. They're hard. They're literally hard as in difficulty to come by.
Yes.
It requires a set of work that some people are not willing to give.
Yes. And that's, I'm glad you said it, because the last statement of True Noble Truth Part 2, I want to say this. As you're self-quarantining, self-evaluating, self-reflecting, I want you to realize that if you have fear in your life, it is because you are attached to something. And true freedom is detachment from all things.
Correct.
Tiff Talk. I want you to give everyone your social media platforms, websites, how to follow you, and all that. And you will be coming back on this show. Please believe.
Say it again. Say it again.
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Yeah, so Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I don't have a TikTok yet. Not that cool, apparently. At Tiff Talk TV, TIFFTALK TV. And if you're really curious, there's a plethora of other photos and info and videos at ramm.com. Yeah, I was like, I'll never go to my website. I don't even know. I do have a Patreon as well, but the link to that's on my Instagram, so you can see some other like only found content on the Patreon.
Okay.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, though. We appreciate you. And, hey, look, I'm not gonna lie. I appreciate you from a female perspective. That transparency. I mean, I got some good friends, even that's following me on the gram right now. They kept it a buck, but you kept it a 1,000. So I'm hoping you come back on the show.
She kept it a Federal Reserve Bank.
She kept it a 1,000, baby.
Ooh my God.
Hell no. He's still. No.
Christopher J, give everyone your plugs, social media, and all
follow me on the gram with everything that's going on at Unofficial MD. No, I'm not a doctor, but I'm saving lives one haircut at a time. Slide in my DMs if you need a haircut. I understand the quarantine, but unlike some of your friends, I am essential. Okay, so I can roam the streets if that's what's necessary.
Yeah, under dig.
If you need a haircut, house call, if you need to pull up to the residence, slide in my DMs, okay, and we can get you right, because my place is a great place to get laced. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm talking about. Listen.
I'm talking about.
And this is your boy, Mr. Randy Choo, a.k.a. Mr. Choo-On-That.
A.k.a.
Mr. Slap Your Mama.
Not my mother, because you know we reckon.
Nigga.
Please.
Listen.
Hey, thank you for shouting out.
I appreciate everyone that chimed in. Instagram, YouTube, Podbean, Blog
Talk. Oh, real talk.
What?
Before we hang up, hey, all my first responders, look, hey, we appreciate y'all for everything that y'all doing.
No doubt.
Hey, look, if you're listening, even if you're not listening, have your friends. If you're a friend of a first responder, share this, even if it's just to get them to the end. Look, I'm running a discount on haircuts. I will pull up. I will make sure fire departments, ambulances, hospitals, I will pull up where they allow me. I will get you right. Just because the world is crazy don't mean you got to look crazy.
Listen.
Holla at me.
As soon as this travel ban is done with, I will be in L.A.
Yay!
I'm gonna be with him.
And
I got the strap, cuz.
I got this. No, we good in L.A. I got a lot of homies in L.A. We good.
All right. My bad.
Super good.
I don't got the strap no more.
Nah, we super good in
good.
L.A.
I got my clippers though.
Yeah. So
catch his face.
Listen, we will. As soon as this travel ban is over, we will be in L.A. And we will catch up with Tiff Talk and a bunch of other people we know, and we would definitely listen. I'm honored, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on air. For real, I got a lot of respect for Tiffany Ram, and please follow her on Instagram, DM her, ask her questions, reach out to her. I would rather have a message from Tiff saying, y'all, the Choo-On-That Nation is getting on my nerves, versus I ain't heard from the Choo-On-That Nation.
Yeah,
you on the dig?
Speak on that. Follow Chew Radio on IG. If you're listening, follow that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my Instagram followers. Killer Cole, happy birthday.
Listen, and we need you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the videos, share the videos, all that. And support Tiff Talk TV.
Yeah, follow her on the gram, Tiff Talk TV.
All her stuff.
She fire. She probably the most transparent female you ever meet in your life.
Listen, I promise you, if our next female guest come on the show and she's not as transparent as Tiff Talk, I'm hanging up the phone.
She getting the boot, baby.
Whoa, my God. Listen, it's the boy Randy Choo, a.k.a. Mr. Choo-On-That, and we are out. Until next time, we love y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Be breezy.
Deuces.
Spin 1,000 on some t-shirts of the sacks.